Ah, yes, that's right. The organ announces it's your man Adolphus A.D. Moore and my good friend all the way from Western New York. He's enjoying it down here in New Orleans. Uh,
Yes,
I mean, I understand why. I mean, come on, what do you say? It hadn't gotten above freezing in what, 2 weeks or so, George?
that's
Yeah,
right.
hadn't gotten
But
above. So he's enjoying being down here in the Crescent City, New York. That's right, folks. Super Bowl 59 is history. Yep, it's history, and so are the Kansas City Chiefs. That three-peat, don't have to worry about. I know they had made a deal with Pat Riley since he had since he had copyrighted that phrase three-peat. So whatever deal they made with him, that's out the window. They done. They don't have to worry about it. They got to go back and try it again for again. Ain't no telling when. But anyway, Eagles 40, the Kansas City Chiefs 22, and this game was over with probably about at the 7:02 mark of the second quarter when Braun intercepted that pass and carried it to the house, George.
yes,
That was it, man. I mean, what was supposed to be a challenging game, really, it was a blowout. I mean, for all intent purposes, this was not one of the better Super Bowl games.
not at all. Holding Kansas City to just 49 yards rushing was a standout. And early in the game, when Kansas City wasn't getting anything going and Philly wasn't getting that much going either, and got out to the 7-0 lead, I thought Kansas City would just start to get their game. Then when they went down by 10, I said, okay, this is usually when they wake up. And the next series, he throws the interception. I said, oh, they look like they're not. That the Eagles studied their offense. They had an answer for everything Kansas City tried to do, and Kansas City just couldn't get anything going until late in the game. And it just showed you that Philly just was eager. They were hungrier. They wanted this win. Kansas City winning all those games by 7 points or less, they limped into this championship. And it's tough to play all those football games and be able to win it. Kelsey looked tired. Travis Kelsey, I thought he looked tired early in that game. I thought a lot. And one thing I noticed, because Kelsey looked tired, a lot of the other guys, I didn't see hardly. Xavier Worthy was the only guy on the Kansas City offense that showed me that with his speed, that he had energy. Everybody else was just flat. DeAndre Hopkins, all these guys on the offensive side of the ball just didn't bring it tonight.
No, you're absolutely correct. I mean, let me tell you something, man. You're right. The Kansas City Chiefs had played it to the close to the vest all season. They had, squeaking by probably about less than touchdown victories, pretty much the whole season. Yeah. I mean, whether the Texans December the 20th when the Texans close ball game, then they turn around in the divisional play round, a close ball game. But and like they said, well, we are built for this. Tell you what, the Eagles said, yeah, I got something for your built, all right. Eagles came in and late and threw a sledgehammer to them. Like I said, at the 7:03 mark, DeJean 38-yard interception to the house that made it 17-0. This was right after that, and his what probably a matter of about a minute and 35 seconds because the Elliott had just had to kick the 48-yard field goal, and when a matter of a minute and 35 seconds later, kickoff, all of a sudden, and then DeJean 38-yard interception carried it to the house. For all intents and purposes, turning point, ball game. That's it, folks. Little did we know, and you and I guess we had all our years of covering the National Football League, and you covering. I mean, all us Texans now. You up there with the Buffalo Bills, all those many years, man. And little did we know, but you could the whole makeup, the whole dynamics of this game shifted right then. That's pretty much it, man. 6 sacks tonight.
Yes.
The Philadelphia Eagles, 6 sacks. Now, I remember the Texans had 8 sacks on and they lost the game. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
but not this Eagles team. And here's the unique thing about it, George. I think and from your perspective, I think that they will determine Jalen Carter was not going to be the one that's going to be the disruptor. It wasn't Jalen Carter. It was the edge rushers and particular Joshua Sweat. And we're gonna I
Yeah.
got to Josh Sweat and also a question that you had put to Nick Sirianni about how their defensive line and the unique thing about it, Vic Fangio redeemed himself. He was 0 for 8 going up
Mm-hmm.
against the championship games and the Kansas City Chiefs, man. So, but tonight, I mean, I think he exercised a lot of demons, and Jalen Hurt, Channel Views on right outside of Houston, Channel Views on 2 years ago when he had and he said that was on his phone. That was his screensaver on his phone, the confetti falling around him. Well, I'll tell you what, it wasn't red and gold confetti this time. It was black and green confetti. It was fly Eagles fly this time,
Yeah.
and they flew high and hard, and they just, I mean, they laid the war to the Kansas City Chiefs. This was and we just had to take. Me personally, I had to take my hat off to the Philadelphia Eagles, man. They done something and really just surprised. I'm gonna be quite candid, which I am shocked that the way that they basically handled the Kansas City Chiefs tonight, George Radney.
Yeah, I'm not shocked because Kansas City's been handled by a lot of teams this year. It just shows you a team where they're thick guys up the middle, and they got some pretty thick their edge rushers are not no lightweight pencil over the hill guys like Von Miller out there trying to do something and they can't get off the line. You need some guys that are young, hungry, and can hustle for the ball. And what I saw was a defensive front that even after the first series of the game, it seemed like they knew they could handle the Kansas City Chiefs offensive line. They tried to double up with Kelsey. Kelsey and Pacheco couldn't stop the edge rusher, Josh Sweat on one of them. He just pushed them both out the way and made his way to the quarterback.
Good segue. Let's go ahead and let's hear my question I had. See, get Josh up here.
Okay, let's hear what he has to say.
I mean, the beauty of it is like, man, Vic he gives us a call. We don't question it. It puts us in a position to make the plays, man. I mean, I don't know how he does it. We just run it. All we got to do is play with great effort, you know what I'm saying, and technique, and we'll get it done.
Yep. As he stated, play with great effort, and they got it done tonight, George. They got it, and the thing about it, the Chiefs, from a defense perspective, they were determined that Saquon Barkley was not going to get away from them tonight.
Correct.
But it really wasn't Saquon Barkley. I thought they did an admirable job of containing Saquon tonight, but with 25 carries and only 57 rushes, his longest run was 10 yards. But they didn't have an answer for Jalen Hurt tonight. They didn't have an answer for, and that big offensive line, basically, because the Chiefs, particularly when they were in man, Jalen play after play, when it looked like when it was about to break down, Jalen, his longest run was like 17 yards tonight. He averaged 6.5 yards to carry, George. And the thing about it, he made the Chiefs pay when they were in that, particularly when they were in man coverage. He made them pay because I know one run now, George. I mean, I think it was the one on the 17-yard, his longest carry. He came up the middle, and I think the by the time the Chiefs came in their man coverage, by the time they recognized what Jalen was running past. He was running past that first line of defense or the linebackers and everything, man. He was running past them. And then before they finally realized what Jalen Hurt was, Oh, he was already down the field on up past that first line of defense, well into the secondary before they realized what was going on, man.
Absolutely. I think they saw how that Buffalo game ended and how they came with an all-out blitz on the Bills quarterback Josh Allen last week, and they tried. I was surprised that Spags went to that so early in the game. He went with an all-out blitz, and you're right. Every time he went with it, Jalen ran up the middle, and I didn't see who the spy was or who was supposed to be the spy on him, and they allowed him to break containment and pick up critical first downs, especially in the second half when they needed the ball back.
Well, here's the deal. Like Jalen hurt him in the first half. That really, I mean, and maybe certainly a couple of those down. There wasn't really a spy on Jalen. They didn't get the spy on Jalen to really start in that third quarter. I think that was one of the adjustments that Spags made in the second half because Jalen had hurt him so bad with those runs, and he still was able to hurt him because, in fact, here's the unique thing about it. You know, it was a designed quarterback run. Saquon came, led the route, and then the off guard came in on a counter move with Jalen Hurts. And so, I mean, let's face it, I mean, it was well schemed, well thought out, and you know, hats off. Eagles are flying high. They are flying high, man.
Yeah, both lines were good. I thought Kansas City played very well defensively. The defensive front, especially number 98 Wharton, he was stopping the run. They stopped the run. They stopped Barkley, but it's shocking that Barkley only had 57 yards, but yet Philly still was able to score 40 points in the game. That's what's really shocking because if you look at the game the stats and you see that Barkley only had 57, you would think that Kansas City had a chance to win this game. But unfortunately, they didn't have a chance to win the game at all because their running backs didn't do anything. I mean, you look at their stat sheet, it looks like, wow. I mean, where did this team come from? I mean, wait a minute, where did they? I'm looking at the stats. I mean, you got Kareem Hunt, 3 carries, 9 yards. Pyran, 1 for 8 yards. Pacheco, 3 carries for 7 yards. And once again, he did not have a burst at all. They were trying to say before the game that Pacheco had started in practice all week. His form was coming back. His form hasn't come back at all. He looked the same as he did against the Bills. He's very slow coming off the ball from that broken leg. He definitely got to get himself, continue to heal up and get ready through training camp to get himself ready for next season. But he was Pacheco was not himself. No way, no how. He wasn't nowhere close. He wasn't even 10% of the Pacheco we're used to seeing in the backfield.
Well, I mean, also, and here's the thing, Devontae Smith hurt him long. You know that one play for that Jalen Hurts threw a nice, pretty pass. He dropped the ball into Devontae Smith, 46-yard TD pass. You know, he had 4 receptions, 69-yarder to AJ Brown. And I don't know if you picked this up. I was sort of watching AJ on the sideline there, and I thought he was getting a little frustrated. That was some frustration seemed like set in, but I think. But you know what? The thing about Jalen Hurts is a unique quarterback because he understands. You know, hey, let's face it. The receivers in the National Football League now are high maintenance. Yes, they are very high maintenance, but. You know, the way Jalen Hurts, kept everything, his composure tonight, and that's one thing that his trademark, and that's been his trademark. You know, even when he was in Alabama, when he got replaced by Tua, and his demeanor, and it's something that coach at Alabama said because he could have left, and he did leave after, but the thing about it, he was able to stay. He stayed there. And, he was able to come back in the SEC's championship and help bring Alabama back for, to beat Georgia in the SEC championship, man, and sort of redeem himself. And that's what his coach at Alabama, had great praise for how, because a lot of times kids, the way kids are now, if they don't get instant gratification, they up and gone, and that, with the transfer report. I'm not saying, and this is, I'm not going into that. I'm not saying that the transfer portal is bad. I think it's good for kids that get a chance, opportunity that they feel like they should get a chance to play. That's all fine and dandy because all of them want to play. All of them think they're going to go to the National Football League, but you and I both know it's only 1/2 of 1% is going to make it. It's only 1,600 players that's going to make it in that gets employed in the National Football League. And so, I'm not knocking that. I mean, but Jalen stayed at Alabama, and and then he wound up transferring. I think to his good, and he got a different coach in Tulich, and I think it helped his passing game a lot. I think, and for a lot of folks to sort of question, can he pass the ball? Can he do? I think after the night, because that strike that he hit Devontae Smith on, man. I mean, he just dropped the ball. He dropped it in there. Devontae Smith didn't break stride, Radman. Didn't break stride at all, man.
And that's the type of passes he was throwing in college. That deep ball. Lincoln Riley really helped him out when he went over there to work with Lincoln Riley. Lincoln Riley really saved his career for the pros because he gets that ball. Now he gets enough air under the ball, and the guys can run under the ball, because that was a pretty throw that he did to Devontae Smith. And also the crossing pass to A.J. Brown. He made it look easy. That's a difficult pass to throw across your body to the left-hand side of the field. Mm-hmm. And he made it look really simple.
Yeah, really he had to come across his body. You asked Nick. You had a nice question. In fact, I'm using the question Nick Sirianni about the defensive line because, like I said, the game was won in the trenches tonight. This was a game that was no doubt. And I know somebody's going to say, "Well, that's an understatement." Not really. I mean, because the both sides of the offensive and defensive lines of the Philadelphia Eagles, they showed their wares tonight. And so, but Nick Sirianni. And talking about, your question, talking about the defensive line.
Okay, all right. So, he's a special coach. You really saw our D tackles continue to get better as the year went on. He demands a lot out of them, and these guys trust him with everything and really look up to him. And he's huge, and so if you don't do what he says, you're gonna make sure you do what he says. Big man, but he is awesome he's awesome as a coach. I can't say enough good things about him. Coach Wash, the way they've led that defensive line. We knew that one of the keys to this game was going to be winning on defense, was winning up front. And we were able to do that. Got great contributions from the guys, and Clint did a great job of having him ready to play and ready to play hard and ready to leave everything out there. And so, man, he's a special coach, and it's awesome that he gets that ring that we all have really wanted for a long time.
That was Sirianni, and he was talking about because you were much more familiar with the D line coach at the Eagles, right, George?
Yes, he was talking about Clint Hurt, born in the Bronx, New York, but grew up in Rochester, New York, and went to Gates Childline High School and was a standout tight end back in 1989 at the high school. I interviewed him when he was a high school player. So I remember interviewing him. He was very good. He got a full ride to the University of Miami, the Miami Hurricanes, and he got there and he started right away. He played defensive tackle for them. He blew out his knee, and he came back and had some other injuries while he was in college, and that kind of derailed him from moving on to the pros. And he became a coach under Butch Davis. Butch Davis said, "Hey, man."
Right,
you could make a good coach, man. You're a good leader. You talk to people. You know how to discuss. You know how to talk to people, and you can really give good instruction. Because you would be instructing guys here while you playing. Instructing the other guys on the line and so forth. So he started coaching under Butch Davis. His first project was Butch Woolfolk. Butch Woolfolk was his first project at the University of Miami. Yeah, He helped Butch Woolfolk with his skill and got him going. And he went on to become a good pro in the National Football League, Butch Woolfolk. So that under his belt got him going. And he's been defensive line coach for over 20-something since what? That was 2091. Oh, he's been a defensive line coach at many different teams. He was with Pete Carroll for Seattle Seahawks for a long time. And in the last year, he ended up being the defensive coordinator for the Seattle Seahawks last season.
Okay.
And so now he said he would like to be a head coach in the National Football League eventually. So he's working hard to move up the ladder and hopefully get an opportunity at a head coaching opportunity down the road. Good story on a good man, good Rochester area.
All right. I mean, hey, we already know in the new NFL seasons, I think the beginning of the NFL is like March 13th, something like that. March, that's the start of the new NFL season. Everybody, these two teams, and not to be the cynics that we are, but being around this game, this team as it's comprised, and I know everybody in Philly, they're gonna have a nice parade in a couple of days. But you know what? Like I tell everybody else, the Buffalo team that you cover, that's not gonna be the same team coming out of camp next year. This is not gonna be the same team. This is not going to be the same team. The Philadelphia Eagles is not going to be the same team. But you know what? Enjoy it. Because quite naturally, there hasn't been a back-to-back win in the NFC East in ain't no telling how long, man. So the Eagles won it. I mean, let's face it, very well could be the Washington Commanders could be winning that division next year. And we'll see.
They have a lot of draft picks. They got a lot of picks coming. So Washington could really build that team up next season.
Right. Yeah. So, you look at that, I think the Chiefs were very unique in the fact that they've gone 3 years in a row to the big game, man. I mean, obviously, I would have loved to seen the Chiefs do the three-peat, but it didn't happen. And the reason that it didn't happen because of the Eagles and the display, what they put on the field tonight, it was indication of that. You know what? They probably won't play another game like that. At least we'll just have to see how they were winning. As you say, we'll see how well they were winning next year, man.
Well, the key for them is to keep what they had problems with this season. They must find some offensive linemen in the draft. Get younger, get some young guys out of the draft to play on that offensive line, or get some free agency and bring somebody. The free agency hasn't worked for them. They keep bringing guys in, and those guys just aren't panning out on their offensive line. Their line just blew them up tonight. That was they couldn't even. He didn't have time. We can't complain about the wide receivers because he didn't have time to throw the ball. You got to get that line together. They couldn't run the ball either. I mean, Kansas City got to get in the draft and get that line straightened out if they're going to want to get back to the Super Bowl again.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you right now, they need two tackles.
Yeah,
they do. They're gonna need two tackles. They're gonna need a guard. They're gonna need a guard or two. Same thing. And be quite candid with you. The Houston Texans are gonna need probably a tackle and a couple of guards as well, man. I mean, That's a grocery list out there. That's a grocery list out for team. We talking about the Chiefs, but I can tell you right now that probably at the top of the shopping list for the Houston Texans wide receivers, because not sure with Stephon Diggs, Tank Dell's probably not going to be ready to come back because with that horrific knee injury he has. Stephon Diggs, we got, I don't think they're going to re-sign not for the amount of money. This is just me talking. I don't think he's coming back. I just think that, they're going to have to go find some receivers, whether in free agency or in, going moving forward. But I think also they're going to have to address the offensive line problem. So we'll see. We're going to see, like I said, D'Amico Ryan. Go ahead, Red Man.
The Buffalo Bills better look at Justin Reed. Justin Reed said during the press conference after the game, he said this might have been his last game at Kansas City. he enjoyed the ride. He said the 2 years in a row winning that Super Bowl will always be a great memory he's going to cherish of being a Kansas City Chief. But he talked like he's going to be somewhere else next season. I hope the Buffalo Bills might be a one to play. The Bills need to take a look at Justin Reed because he's still got something left in the tank, and he would be a good addition to our safety. Because we need 2 safeties real bad.
Well, I tell you what, like I said, he was drafted by the Texans, and a quality young man. He's a quality young man. I'm glad that he got a chance to get out there and taste the sweet nectar of victory. He's got a couple, he's got Super Bowl rings to his credit. So now he knows how to win, and so let's face it. Yeah, he could be up in Western New York. I mean, because like I say, it sounds like his contract situation is up. So we'll see, man. We'll see. All right, Rad man. I tell you what, we're getting ready to, it's been a long. I know you talked out. Y'all got in Sunday night. Was on Radio Row for the whole week, and like I said, I appreciate it. Allowed me to hang with you guys down there on Radio Row, man, and you and Jay Gill and everything, man. Final points wrapping up, man, and as we put a bow on this season, the 2024 season, put a bow on it.
Yes, it was a good season. Refereeing got to improve. They got to do improvements with the refereeing on some of these calls. Especially some of these hits that it was a hit in that game that they called a penalty but the guy kind of grazed the guy's head going up he was going for the ball, and this was a hit. He didn't hit him intentionally in the head. You got to make sure the referees got to get a little better. I thought the refereeing crew tonight did a fantastic job, but overall season wise they got to do better. They got to do better with these games. Have teams playing on Wednesday night, on Saturday, then the Wednesday or Thursday, whatever it is during the holiday season. The season went quick. You had a lot of teams out of contention. The league got to look at what's going on. You got a lot of teams that if you're going to go to 17, you're already at 17. If you're going to go to 18 games.
Go to 18 games. I don't see it, man.
I don't see it either. If you're watering down your product because you just don't have enough quality teams. You got too many teams that are out of the race by the time you get to the 10th game. The Bills almost, after 9 games, the Buffalo Bills almost had the division wrapped up. And what you going to do with teams when they wrap up the season early, and then you're going to force them to rest their best players, and people paying that top dollar for season tickets, they're going to get really ticked off that they paying that money to go see them or on the road, and Josh Allen's not playing or somebody else is not playing. It's going to be interesting to see what the league does with this because there's just not enough good teams in the National Football League.
Well, here's the thing about it. If you go to 18 games and then they restrict it down to 2 preseason games, I've always stated the National Football League season as is constituted now. You don't start seeing good football till the end of September because of the way these guys in training camp, the way training camp goes. They only practicing once a day, no more 2 a day. This is the NFL PA what they have negotiated for these guys, and so it's sort of like what D'Amico Ryans in his closing press conference with us. He told these guys, he said, you can't wait about 9 weeks prior to the season to get in shape. He said soon after the Super Bowl ends, in particular for the Texans, he sort of threw it out there. Hey, you guys need to be ready to go. Mm-hmm. You need, take a couple of weeks off, and then y'all need to be ready to go. And so, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, we sure will. See if they can play and stay healthy. And because you got too many injuries now, too many soft tissue injuries, because I think these guys are overworked, torn biceps because they're lifting too much weight. Some of these guys are just got too. I see Graham came back from a torn bicep. At least they're finding out how they can get you back before the season's over. A few years ago, less than 5 years ago, you were out for the season automatically with a torn bicep. So obviously they finding some way to help the rehab and get you having injuries that you normally didn't used to have in football. I think having these guys in shape the whole offseason is the wrong idea. And you're gonna and some of these teams have like Detroit. Man, Detroit, that coach, he wanted them to play all out every single game. And he paid for it by having having 13 different starters on his defense. So we got to see how you got to protect your players. You got to have them out there going to, hey, we got to go all out today. You going all out against everybody. That's fine and dandy, but realistically, it's going to hurt just what happened to Detroit. They ran out of quality players on defense, and they didn't make it to the NFC Championship game.
Final point, and then we'll discuss this. Excuse me, coming into the regular season. But if they go to 18 games, are they going to have to expand the rosters, man? Or do you think are they going to have to sort of get to a point that they're going to be able to have been able at some point to be able to sort of allow players to bring players off the practice squad and being able to intertwine them without hurting some of these guys? Is that something that you think that the players in there, not with their union, can they get this with the owners, or the owners just gonna keep dropping the hammer on them? Because
let's keep dropping the hammer on them. But the league is saying right now they're talking about 2 weeks off. You got 2 buys, having 2 buys this when that 18 game season go into effect, having 2 buys instead of the 1.
Well, but all right, but here's the deal, though, George, and I want to close. We get into something we can get later on, but these Thursday night games, man. After that initial Thursday night game, man, I think it's these guys, they body. Yeah, no, that's sort of like a minute buy for these once you get past that. But the thing about it, once that season starts, these average guys, it takes these guys' bodies. If you playing. All right, say you play on most Sunday games, they're probably not, they got an off day. Most time on the Tuesdays, they're off day. Then they go practice on Wednesday, Thursday. You like walk through. But then, like you stated, all right, I know like the Texans had, they played on the 20th and they had to turn around and play Christmas Day. That's less than, all they were able to do was have a walkthrough, and the Baltimore Ravens came in there and ran them out the stadium for Christmas Day, man. So, it's coming to the point if you want to keep putting games on, you asking for top dollar. You got all these platforms, Netflix, Amazon, and everything that wants to do that. Yeah, I know the league is getting grand theft money, but what is the quality of your product and really the quality of your players? Because your players are your product, and so are they going to continue to treat them like depreciable assets that as they treat them right now? Just saying.
That's the case. We'll see as the world turns in football. We'll see as you get to the camp end of February for the combine and then into the draft and all of that. I look forward to talking with you again real soon, AD. It's been a great season, but we'll see. Congratulations to the Philadelphia Eagles, the new National Football League champions, and we'll see how everybody else progresses as they go back into the drawing board to get ready for next season.
That's right. Hey, man, appreciate it. Thank you. Hey, man, go get some rest. I'm going to go ahead and turn you loose. And I appreciate it. We'll be in touch, man. And continued success on the Real Deal Sports Show, man.
Will do. Thank you. Take care.
All right, you too now. All right, folks, that's it, man. Like I say, George, the Red Man, I appreciate it. Have a safe trip home, man. Hey, this season is in the bag now. The congratulations to the Philadelphia Eagles, the Super Bowl 59 winners. We tip the hat to Nick Sirianni and to all the Eagles. Jalen Hurts, Channel Views on Jalen Hurts. He now can he's a Super Bowl winner. He's an MVP, and so I take that off to him. Appreciate it. Thanks everybody for the year. All of the pluses, the minuses. Everything. This season is done, and I'm gonna be out for a little bit, but stay tuned. Between X, Instagram, the AdMax Instagram, and Facebook, and some other things, we'll be working on some things. With the combine coming up, with the draft coming up. But for a while, we're gonna take a break, and we're gonna let our lyrics and watching football relax a little bit. And might go watch some little XFL football, see how it turns out. But anyway. Thank you for this season. Thank you for watching. Thank you for following for the season. Appreciate it, folks. Hey, be careful out there. Ciao. We are out again. Congratulations to the Philadelphia Eagles, Super Bowl 59 winners. Jalen Hurts, MVP. As the Eagles defeat the thrashes the Kansas City Chiefs' desire for a three-peat. They left no stone unturned. If they quashed the Kansas City Chiefs 40-22, that and those last touchdowns, as they state, they covered the over on the game from a betting standpoint, but that game was nowhere close as what the score indicates. Folks, I'm out. I will, as I stated, appreciate you again, and we are done for this season. And I'll be seeing you down the road.